Hi, I'm David Williams, Executive Director of the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum. The mission of the Hydroplane Museum is to inspire lifelong learning and achievement while honoring, preserving, and celebrating the legacy of unlimited hydroplane racing. And believe it or not, that all started right here in this cockpit. It was Bill Munsey in the 1980s, when he was winning everything on the circuit, began to feel that there needed to be a place to preserve the memories of all the great achievements. Unfortunately, Bill didn't live long enough to see that dream come true, but we picked up the banner and we have carried on, and I have got to say that this year we've done some incredible things. First of all, we restored Bill's Atlas van lines to running condition, and we ran it on Lake Washington, and it was spectacular. But we've done a lot more than that. Last year we took our Victory Education program and went to over a dozen schools in the King County area and taught more than 2,000 kids about science, engineering, technology, and math, and how they apply to powerboat racing. We also instituted our brand new Warriors on the Water program, where we're working with post 9/11 veterans who've had lower leg amputations and put them in lay-down outboard hydroplanes so they can go out and race one-on-one with able-bodied racers.
Hello, I'm Kelly Bailey. I'm here at the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum in Kent, Washington. I'm the driver of the Warriors on the Water boat, and I support the museum because the museum supports veterans, and specifically disabled veterans like me. The museum has also plugged me into community, which is more like a family. I recently felt that at a race when I had engine problems, and everyone jumped in. They supplied tools and even complete engines to help me race throughout the 2 days. I'm a former airborne infantryman and who was injured on a deployment. What's been very cool about the hydroplane racing, the intensity and the excitement's there. Especially my first race when I got sprayed, 10 other boats are around me. It felt very, very intense. So it's been very cool, and there's a saying that we use, especially in the airborne, that we like to be high speed, low drag, and that's very similar in hydroplane racing. You want to be high speed, low drag, and win races.
Hi, my name is Patrick Gleason. I'm with the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum, and I support the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum because of the amazing things they do with the Harm J Hydro Project. This is a project where we bring in kids and their parents over the off-season during the winter, and over a period of time they succeed in building their first junior class hydro. It's an outboard boat, and they build the boat together, they get the whole thing done, and then they go racing with one of the local outboard clubs, such as Seattle Outboard Association. This has been going on probably 7 years now, and in the course of that time we brought probably 15 or 20 brand new racers into the sport, many of which have stuck with it and gone on to be very successful in the other racing classes. And if it weren't for the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum doing something like this, we wouldn't have the sport perpetuate. So it's not just seeing all the old boats down here and the history, it's creating new history. And that's a really important part of the mission here.
Here's the Miss Barnall. That's driven today by Dixon Smith, maybe the smartest engineer in all of hydroplane racing.
He was actually a crewman on that boat.
And there's
back in the original 1962 through 65 era.
Hello, Dixon Smith here. For those of you who may not know me, I own the Miss Bardall restored vintage hydroplane, which was a real race boat between 1962 and 1965. It's been restored and we've been running it for several years. And I'm here to talk a little bit about not my race boat, but boats like this behind me that belong to the Hydroplane Raceboat Museum. I'd urge everybody to support the Hydroplane Raceboat Museum financially, and I emphasize financially because that's what makes things go. Because of the work they do, restoring boats, the history of hydroplane racing, and even more important, the educational programs that they have and the work with the wounded warriors that they do. For those of you who've been around hydroplane racing, we make really great noise. The current race boats are a little bit lacking in that area, so if you'd like to hear the noise, want the boats to still be around, and also the history being maintained, support the Hydroplane Raceboat Museum. They do great work. They really need the help and they need the support. Thank you very much.
And Wahoo is now in first place, Bardol is second, 2 seconds behind. So the two boats have changed position, and Wahoo moves away from him like he was pinned to a post as he approaches the south corner.